Hi, and welcome to CryptoBiography. I'm your host, Brandon Starr. This is episode 438 of CryptoBiography, and it's part 3 of Vampire Republic. And here we go. It took Duncan some time to get to sleep, but eventually he convinced himself it would be safe to do so and slept well. The next day was Saturday. He was going to do more studying, but he got a call. He let it go to voicemail, but after checking it, it was campus security calling. They wanted to ask him some questions. He didn't feel he was in a position to turn down their request. He wondered what their questions would include. Would they include anything about vampires? Truth be told, he was wondering if he had seen what he had thought he had seen last night. It had been dark, and he'd only seen the fangs for a moment. Had he seen a vampire? True, the attacker had disappeared, but that was something vampiric? Or his imagination? Regular people would also be upset if stabbed in the neck with a stick, and would get out of there as quickly as they could. But part of them knew this was a lie. He'd seen what he had seen. The part of him trying to put a logical cover on this was the same part that made him want to run away from that fight. He went to the campus security office and was ushered into an office immediately. "Hi, Duncan. I'm Peter Framish. I'm the head of the campus security department. I just wanted to confirm some details of the attack on Abby Raymond last night." "Sure thing," Duncan said, trying to stay casual. "We took a report last night from Abby and her roommate Julie. It doesn't contain any personal information you wouldn't already be privy to, so I've printed it out. Would you take a look and see if you can add anything?" Duncan read it. It seemed reasonably thorough. It didn't contain much that he didn't know or could have guessed. Abby had been walking home on the same path he had been taking. She had been grabbed from behind. One detail that caught his attention: she was grabbed there, on the path, not where he had seen her with the vampire. Yet, when the attack was described, it was in the copse of trees as he had found her. The description of the attacker also was remarkably vague. Maybe that was understandable. After all, she had been bitten on her neck by a stranger. She likely couldn't see, either because she was trying to fend him off or he was simply too close. Her description of his pulling the attacker off her was also short and vague, probably for some of the same reasons. He remembered her covering her face and cringing. Understandable, but it also meant that she couldn't be the clearest witness. Peter Framish could tell he was done. "Is there anything else you can add?" he asked. "Well, that's the one thing that seems strange to me, is that she was grabbed on the path, but I heard her already in the trees. Was she not clear about what happened?" "Not too clear," Peter said, shaking his head a little. "The attack was shocking and sudden, as she described it." "There's not much description of the attacker, either," Duncan said. "How would you describe him?" Peter asked, picking up a pen and pulling the printout to him to write on it. "Well, he was white, pale skin, dark hair, I think straight hair, kind of long hair, but I'm not really clear on that. Maybe a little taller than me. I think his clothes were all dark because I can't remember a single detail about his clothing. I think he was fairly thin. His face was sort of gaunt, anyway. He was strong, though. He overpowered me pretty quickly." "So you came up from behind the attacker, who was biting Abby, and pulled him off of her?" "Yes," Duncan said. He wasn't sure if his fearful pause before he had helped was germane to the story, and he didn't bother with it. "He turned around and shoved me immediately to the ground. Then he jumped on me. I think he was going to bite me, too. He had weird teeth. Fangs, really," he said, then stopped short, seeing Peter looking at him quizzically. Look, I don't know if he had sharpened his teeth or had naturally long canines or what. I'm just saying they made an impression. I think he was going to bite me with them. I got lucky. There was a broken branch nearby. I grabbed it and stabbed him in the neck. Then he sort of disappeared." Peter was staring at him, so Duncan shrugged. "Look, it was a quick attack in the near dark, off the path at night, and it didn't last long. I'm lucky I got as much information as I did." "Do you think you hurt the man with the stick?" I mean, I would think so, Duncan said. He'd made the girl, I didn't know her name was Abby at that time, bleed from the neck, and he attacked me. I wasn't trying to hold back. I didn't find any blood on me later, though, even though he was above me when I did it. So I don't know the situation. Maybe if you check hospitals, you can track him down? But that last sentence was a cover. Duncan didn't think the thing he had stabbed was likely to be permanently hurt by a simple stick to the neck. Can you think of anything else? Peter asked. Duncan shook his head. No. If I think of something, I'll let you know. Or if you want to ask me anything else, please do. He stood up and reached across the desk. He and Peter shook hands, then he left. He did manage to study a little. He was distracted. It was after lunch that he realized he should check in on Vanessa. He cursed himself for being self-centered and walked over. He knocked and she answered the door after a moment. Hey, Vanessa. I was wondering how you're doing after last night. Fine. I think Abby was the one who had the really bad night. Yeah, but I think we were both pretty shaken up. Did you sleep? Some. Same. I spoke with campus security, gave him some more details on the attack. Yeah, so did I, Vanessa said. Not that I had much to give. Did you mention vampires? Duncan shook his head. Didn't see the point. I mentioned the sharp teeth, though, and the fact that he disappeared after I stabbed him. I didn't use that word, though. Neither did I. Did you see him disappear? He asked, realizing he hadn't heard that part of Vanessa's story. More or less, she replied. You stabbed him in the neck. He made a sort of squealing noise, and then he just sort of vaporized. Whether he turned into a bat or mist or went invisible or something else, I don't know. Duncan nodded, realizing Vanessa might have more reason to believe that the attacker was a vampire even than he did. You okay? I made some lunch, but if you want to walk somewhere, I can join you. Sure, Vanessa said. The pub sounds good. There was a pub on campus run by the students. It didn't serve alcohol until evening, but the pub food was good any time of day. He just ordered a soda to be polite, as he had eaten, and Vanessa enjoyed a burger and fries. I had the fish and chips last time a few days ago, Vanessa said, eating her burger. It's my favorite, but I didn't want it again so soon. They do make a solid burger, though. Is there anything else we should say about the attack? Duncan asked. Vanessa thought while she took another bite of her burger. Finally, she spoke. Just that I'm not sure what we do from here. I don't know how dangerous this vampire guy is, or if he'll come back, or if he comes back, what he's capable of. Duncan nodded. We don't even know enough to know if we should be scared or not. That's what scares me the most. He walked her back to her house. He asked if she wanted him to be there, but she said no, so he went back to his home. That afternoon and evening, he listlessly studied some more. He watched the sun go down and wondered what would happen that night. And that's the end of the episode for this week. If you have any comments or questions about this episode or previous episode, CryptoBiography@gmail.com, or hit us up on Facebook or Twitter, and thanks for listening. Words and music, copyright 2025, Brandon Starr, all rights reserved. Characters and events are fictional, fictionalized, or satirical.